Okay, hey, what's good? Welcome to my Beowulf speedrun primer. This video is a trimmed down version of a stream I did where I went through the primer live. I've left the link to the PowerPoint in question in the description if you want to follow along, or you can just check it out after the video if you want. I hope you guys find this helpful. Enjoy. So I've outlined some of the objectives, okay? After this presentation, you should be able to figure out the optimal Beowulf mirror and bindings. You're going to learn how to make a good Beowulf build. I'm going to teach you the general speedrun game plan. And then bonus, we are going to discuss basic Beowulf mechanics at the end. And I put this as bonus because if you're new or if you're learning, this will take time, like learning the basic Beowulf mechanics, right? It will take some time. And you can definitely get started without learning like how to move and use Beowulf optimally, right? You can just follow the game plan and just go from there. Preamble, I have no idea how to unlock Beowulf, so if you don't have Beowulf, I can't help you. I have a max save here and instructions on how to install. These are both on speedrun.com/Hades, so you can just check it out there. Or I'll probably have a link to this presentation in the YouTube description. Also, for this guide, this is going to be like just like a general Beowulf basics video. So Sleep Soul is another community member who has put together a how to speedrun Hades video, and it covers like all of the basics. So if you want to know more about the basics, or I might like gloss over something in this video, that video will probably have it, and you can also find it here. Alright, so first things first, optimal Beowulf mirror and bindings. This is the mirror we're going to use. You can use this exact setup until you're the world record holder. Like, you don't have to ever touch a button on this and it will be fine. If you find that you're having problems with high confidence, you can switch high confidence over to thick skin. So that's like the only setting that you might be interested in changing. If you find yourself dying a lot, you just give yourself 50 extra HP. This is like the overall generic speedrunning heat setting. You can do force over 1 over force over time 2 to start. And then turn it up to 2 once you get used to it, because things do spawn in faster and attack you faster, but whatever, you do you. So I have some bindings here. These bindings, I think, are basically generic, except that the cast is on the bumper. And you'll find out why when you start playing Beowulf, but you'll be loading your cast a lot into your shield, and a lot of players just find it easier to cast when they have it on a bumper. But you can just kind of do whatever you want. Like, if you have a setup that works for you, then by all means. But if you find yourself having difficulties, you can just try this setup and then mix it up as you like. This is for controller players. For mouse and keyboard players, I asked Mike, and I forgot to update this slide. But Mike told me... Oh, and for those who don't know, Mike is a very good mouse and keyboard Beowulf player. He told me he just uses vanilla bindings, like completely default. So I guess do whatever you want. How to make a good Beowulf build. So this right here, this is literally the entire build. Where it says the secondary shot damage, where it says 30%, it's not 30%, it's 100%. The entirety of the Beowulf build that we're going to discuss today revolves around getting Mirage Shot. These are the two main boons that we're going to target in order to build Mirage Shot. So Flood Flare is going to be our main source of damage. This is our cast. And so it's not, while Flood Flare is not like the strongest cast, it has good AoE, it has decent power, and most importantly, it's one of the two prerequisites for Mirage Shot. Deadly Strike is nice because it's the other prerequisite in order to find Mirage Shot. On this next slide, we have a couple examples of things you don't want to take. So for example, we have Heartbreak Flourish or Thunder Dash as examples of things that you might not want to pick up. And the main reason that we do this and why we want to avoid anything on our special dash or call is because when you add boons to these cores, you open up other duo boons. So you want to avoid opening up other duo boons and increase your chances of hitting Mirage Shot. This is optional. I would recommend if you are playing Beowulf and you find a hammer, and charge shot is offered to you, I would recommend that you pick it and try it out, because charge shot is a really strong Beowulf hammer. Obviously, you're not going to get it every time because you can't roll hammers, and the odds are pretty low to get it. But I do have a quick clip of what it looks like to play with charge shot. So like the nice thing here is you can see that you get a lot of range here, which allows me to kill a lot of enemies and group them together, but also kind of get enemies that are like across the room, right? Which is kind of difficult for a melee weapon. That's it for the build. This section is going to be broken into 4 parts, and I'm going to tell you the main things you're going to be wanting to look out for in each biome. For Tartarus, we start with a Poseidon conch shell. And so, of course, our main goal here will be looking for Flood Flare. So in this clip, you can see I'm spawning in here, just started. You can see I have the Poseidon conch shell, and you can see that this forces the Poseidon to spawn. I'm going to pick it up here, and then pick Flood Flare. Boom, done. Step 1. Now, after you get your Poseidon boom, you can just play the game as normally, but keep an eye out for Artemis at all costs. So whether it's buying Artemis, you find her in the shop, right? Or if you see her on a door, just like snap pick the Artemis, right? Of course, if you're speedrunning, make sure to observe like conventional speedrunning strategies. But that aside, definitely try to pick up Artemis where you can. And of course, if you don't find Artemis, going into Asphodel, that's going to be your next goal, right? So, and that's why we go into Asphodel with the Adamant Arrowhead. This is right after the Furies fight. You can see that I have Flood Flare, but I don't have Artemis. So I'm picking up this Adamant Arrowhead and going into Asphodel with it. Okay, yeah, so you can see that the Artemis is forced here because of the, whatever the heck it's called. I don't really know. Keepsake, because of its keepsake. Bam, Artemis. And we're going to be looking for Deadly Strike here. And boom, Deadly Strike. Easy peasy. Sometimes Artemis might not show up right away. That's okay. She'll show up later. And just remember to get her when you see her. Or if she shows up in the shop, make sure to grab her there as well. What if you already have Artemis, right? Which you might have picked up in like Tartarus before you entered Asphodel, right? Well, you can actually still pick up this Arrowhead and try to find Mirage Shot. And so after you've acquired Flood Flare and Deadly Strike, you can start looking for Mirage Shot either through finding Artemis or Poseidon, right? So we force the Artemis as one avenue to get the Mirage Shot, but if you see Poseidon offered anywhere in Asphodel, you're free to go to him as well, and he also has a chance offering Mirage Shot. The general idea is just to get Mirage as fast as possible, because it turns out getting double damage is absolutely broken. Okay, you can see in this clip that I already have Deadly Strike, and I have Flood Flare, right? So I believe the reward at the end of this chamber is Artemis, because I forced it with, because I forced it with the Keepsake, which I usually take in Asphodel. And, okay, so this might happen sometimes, okay? You're going to get Artemis, right? You have both of the prerequisites, but you don't get Mirage Shot. That's okay. Just roll down, okay? Roll down, and with good luck, you'll get the Mirage Shot. And if you don't get Mirage Shot, that's okay. Just keep looking for Artemis, keep looking for Poseidon, and your build will come together. So the general speedrun game plan for Elysium is the same as before. And what I mean by that is, if you don't have Mirage Shot yet, I know I'm saying it a lot, if you don't have it yet, keep looking for it, because that is where all your damage is going to be. So going into Elysium, we're going to be exploiting a very broken feature that greatly benefits our weapon Beowulf. And to do that, we're going to pick up the Bone Hourglass. And what the Bone Hourglass does is that it extends the duration of items that you buy from the Well of Charon. And so these are the main items that you will be looking for. The Prometheus Stone, the Braid of Atlas, and the Ignited Echers. These are all items that will increase your DPS tremendously on Beowulf. Make sure to hit up every well you see. So don't forget to hit up the well that is next to the cell well and the keepsake box. But also don't forget to check out these wells that are in the rooms as you clear them. Make sure to check them and just buy these bad boys, and you're gonna have a great time. To be clear, you want to Hourglass even if you don't have Mirage. No matter what, you're taking Hourglass into Elysium. Okay, stop. Okay, don't do anything. Don't do anything yet. Make sure to check this well, okay? After you defeat heroes, make sure you check this well before you go to the keepsake box. Now, the reason we do this is because anything you buy in here will last all the way to Hades, assuming you get like a 2-sack in the Styx tunnels, which is super good, right? If you find like a braid, that's 50% damage for the rest of the game, right? So make sure you check this, and then you can switch to your keepsake. So this is right after I had killed heroes. You can tell I'm going to heal up here, but I'm checking this well first, and I get some bonus damage. That's pretty nice. And then after I do that, then I switch to my keepsake that I want here. And speaking of keepsakes that we would like going into Styx and Hades, Sigil of the Dead is a really good option. If you're more of an advanced player, or if you feel like you just want to do more damage, we'll talk about that more in a second. I do want to note this backup option, this acorn that you might have, is also a really good backup option that you might want if you feel like you're not as confident, or if you just want some security. What acorn does is that it tanks like 5 hits for you, or something like that. I have a quick clip here of me fighting Hades with a Hades call to show you how to use the Hades call against him. So we're going to watch it through first, and then I'll explain it afterwards. Let's break it down. You can see that I've already preloaded my cast down here because I intend to shoot it at Hades. And then I call right before I think he's about to leave his bubble. And then when I see he's tangible, I shoot him as soon as possible with my cast in order to take advantage of the bonus damage. And so that's kind of the quick and dirty of how to use the Hades call. Now I have a couple pro tips before we end the guide. The first one, this one I didn't know where to put. This is kind of a general thing that you will be doing throughout your run, and that will be palming your flood flare. And this is something you're gonna be doing in all the biomes. Whenever you see a palm, just throw it in your flood flare, if possible. If it's not there, don't worry about it. Just put in something random. It's fine. And then pro tip 2, Hermes is broken. Pick hypersprint where you can. If you don't see it, I wouldn't worry about it for now. But if you do find hypersprint, the reason why we love this boon is because hypersprint acts as a prerequisite for rush delivery. And rush delivery does exactly what it says on the tin. So if hypersprint makes you move 100% faster, then the bonus damage from this rush delivery will be 50%. And 50% bonus damage is a lot of damage. And that's like that's like all there is to say about this. It's really nice, it's extra damage, it's free damage, and take it where you see it. But if you don't see it, it's fine. Don't worry about it. It's not integral to the build. That's basically the end. As a bonus, I'm going to do a quick demonstration of some basic Beowulf mechanics that will be foundational to Beowulf playing. And it's pretty simple. It's literally dash attack and the bull rush. That's it. That's the cornerstone of Beowulf gameplay. Spend some time in the courtyard just trying to do this dash attack into this bull rush. After you get that a couple times, I'd recommend just like beat the hell out of Skelly. It's free, it's right here. And this is literally just how I used to practice. And you'll find that you'll get into a rhythm with it. And so that would be what I would call step 1. So for step 2, you're going to want to preload some cast and just hit the dude. Right, and you can go ahead and try to catch these stones as they come down. When you're holding this charge, you see how I have no cast stone loaded? Now it's loaded, right? So what I'm saying is that you can load a cast stone while it's charging. And this one's definitely the hardest step. The third step would be doing the dash attack, loading the cast, and then going. Once you get that, then you can start beating up Skelly with it. Whoops. And I would say that, honestly, more than anything, it's just a feel thing. So, Don't be afraid to just get in there and just have some fun. It's not hard. It's not too wild. You know, it takes a little bit of time, but definitely rewarding and definitely pays off. So if you've made it this far, congrats. You now know how to build Beowulf, and you now have a general game plan. This primer was very simplified, right? And it was streamlined in order to make it as accessible as possible. However, if you find yourself having a good time or you want to learn more, I've compiled a couple of resources for you guys to check out. So at the top here, we have the Hades Speedrunning Discord. If you ever want more information or just need advice or tips or anything, this is the place to go. And everyone's super welcoming, and they will help you, whether you want it or not. Other than that, obviously Sleep Slow has a basic how to speedrun Hades that covers a lot more of the basics that I definitely didn't cover here. The Beowulf Beginner Guide by Papertronics can be found at this link. You can actually check my YouTube for VODs, because I post all my PBs on there, or my Twitch, and hopefully I'm streaming, and you can ask me anything there, and I will definitely answer you. Other than that, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, fax this video to your family members, and let me know if you want other topics covered, because I can do this all day.